Okay, I've tried to record this thing 3 times and it keeps getting too long. Craziest vision to date that I've ever had in my life. Several visions I've had coming up to this. I've talked a lot about UFOs, things in the sky, rocks on fire falling, bright lights speeding through the air. Other visions I've talked about how people will start claiming, oh, it's alien, it's extraterrestrial. I've had those multiple times, and every time, the time frame in which the vision was talking about, there was actual instances of sightings in the very cities where God would show me. And it's been weird. I've never understood it, didn't know why until tonight. And I gotta try to put all this in the shortest time I can, and it's so difficult to do it because I know how stupid it sounds. I know it sounds crazy, just like the fact the the V, and when I first had the vision of it being released to kill hundreds of thousands of people and to be a biological weapon and shut down the world and society, nobody believed it when I came forward with that one because it sounded far fetched. This one sounds even crazier. I'm just gonna be honest. But I believe the reason why God has been showing me so much about extraterrestrials, UFOs, lights in the skies, uh, tonight it's been exposed to me. We're in the month of October, the month of my birthday, 2022. And tonight, it finally all came together and God showed me part of their silly plan. These same wealthy elitists that are still trying to kill off a third of the Earth's population purposely, murdering off a third of the world because it might save a half a degree of temperature in 50 years. It's just insanity. This next shift about aliens, they're going to start talking about it more. They're going to start even release. They're going to have like either drones or little ships or little things they've made to fly through skies, to fly by airplanes and honorable people like pilots or military people or over whole cities, that all of a sudden a lot of people can start going public, call the news channel. There's a UFO and there's blah, blah, blah. And they're going to build up and build up. I don't know exactly when they're going to do this, but God just showed me this tonight that their plan is to eventually have a press conference and bring somebody out that they're going to claim has been an extraterrestrial working with the United States government for 50 years, 75 years, something like that. And in this picture God was showing me, I'm like, why are you showing me something about people believing in aliens? A lot of us have open minds. I have an open mind. Um, when Jesus said, I have other sheep not of this fold, I've often wondered, is he talking about life on other planets or a whole other universe or a whole other people? It's possible. So my mind is open. Um, but the problem with that is there's a lot of people, sci fi fans, there's a lot of people who want there to be the existence of aliens. So when this plan unfolds and they come out and they have news conferences from Area 51 or from the government or from a White House or whatever and say, oh, these high ranking generals of the military have worked side by side with these extraterrestrials, helping us with our technology. That's where 5G came from, where internet, where uh, radio signals, everything. They're going to try to give a scientific basis enough to make people think, "Wow, I can see that," and they're going to have an actor come forward to try to pretend to be an extraterrestrial or multiple with this sole purpose in mind, so that they can, while everybody's scared, while everybody's running from the virus, while everybody's running to the jabs, now they can release this next crazy attack against God by claiming an extraterrestrial race has been here longer before humans were ever alive. And they will use it as a way to discredit creation, to discredit God, to discredit Jesus. In this weird vision, I saw them having press conferences and an extraterrestrial being played by an actor is going to say, "Oh no, you all, if you all were not created by a God or by a Jesus, that if anybody could claim your creation, it would be our species, our race of aliens, who saw the evolution, and we came down and began running tests and experiments and sped up the evolutionary process on the human race." And they're going to do all this as another attack to try to cancel out God, to try to turn people's eyes away from God, to try to discredit God, to try to make people think, "Oh wow, so there's not a God." And it's just another desperate ploy of insanity that God was showing me in this vision that's coming. They're going to start talking about UFOs even more. I don't know why, but God's like shown me little bits of it in several other visions where, if you think back, I'd say things about, watch the skies. There's going to be lights. There's going to be meteors and rocks on fire fall from the skies and different things have appeared in other visions. And I don't always know what it's talking about when God shows me something like that. But I go ahead and say what God's showing me. And then later it makes more sense when after the fact. But anyway, remnant rise up. Believers unite. Believers stop dragging your feet. Stop being complacent. Stop feeling like we got plenty of time. We don't. We don't have time. God is working on our behalf. He is stirring hearts of the remnant to rise up. He is exposing the evil in this world. It's happening left and right. More and more people are being arrested for the things they've done and the wrong they've committed against humanity, from babies to believers alike. And they're, over time, just like the last vision, God's exposing them, holding them accountable. Their Tower of Babel's fallen, and they're going to be dealt with. But this is another attack that's coming. That's going to be another portion of the great divide that the Bible talked about, as people running from God, churches turning from God, society, America, the country founded on God, and in God we trust, now turning from God, stripping courthouses of 10 Commandments and stripping schools of prayer and saying you can't talk about God. We're a nation that has been a great falling away, just like the Bible talked about. And it's even happening in churches. Big mega churches refuse to talk about sin, refuse to preach against the things that are going to send people to hell. I would call that a great falling away, because they're falling away from the truth, and they're going to cause people to miss out on heaven because they're not preaching the truth. So I believe this tonight, documenting this craziest so far to date of all the visions, they're going to try to glorify extraterrestrials and talk about people, talk about aliens working with the government and being here, so that, and maybe not in the first press conference, but you watch, it's going to be their whole goal to try to tell people, see, there's no God. See, you weren't created. It was evolution. And it's just going to be another way to distract humanity and try to take your eyes off of Christ. And God's telling me to tell believers, don't fall into this. Don't fall into the traps, because believers are getting trapped left and right and don't even realize it's a trap from the wicked. They don't realize these things are traps from the enemy, because they almost seem harmless at first. Oh, aliens are fun to talk about. And all of a sudden, you're going to see believers who start buying that load of malarkey. And it's all part of another attack from the Illuminati, from the wealthy elite. So I got to get off here because I can't make this video any longer. I'll try to redo it again when I've got more strength and more health. But we're going to start hearing about aliens a lot. God help us. Y'all stay encouraged. Believers have nothing to fear. Keep praying over your family. Anoint your households. Anoint your spouses, your children, your boyfriends, your girlfriends. Anoint one another with oil. Pray over each other and plead the blood of Jesus over your lives, your finances, your houses, your family, and a hedge of protection around every one of you. I love y'all. And thank you for putting up with some of these crazy things. But God told me to share, so I gotta. I love y'all. Spread love.